Hi, my name is Addison, and today I'm going to be explaining 6 important types of play that young children will use to learn and grow. And it's parallel play, associative play, cooperative play, dramatic play, sensory play, and rough and tumble play. So the first one we're going to be talking about is parallel play. And parallel play is when children play next to one another, but they don't interact with one another. So they could be using similar toys, but they're each kind of focused on their own activity. So an example of this would be two toddlers sitting next to each other. They're both playing with blocks. One might be stacking blocks in a tower, and the other would be lining them up, but they're not talking and they're not sharing ideas. So it's more common in children ages 2 to 3, and it helps them learn to be around other children while they're still working independently. Associative play happens when children begin to interact and share toys with one another, but their play isn't really well organized, so they might be talking and switching toys, but everyone's kind of still doing their own thing. It's not very structured. So this could be where several children are all playing in the sandbox together, but one is making a road, another is building a castle, and another is maybe digging holes or something like that. And so they're all kind of talking to each other or even sharing tools with one another, but there isn't really a clear plan or a clear goal. And this type of play helps children practice their social skills like sharing or talking or cooperating in these small sort of ways. The third one that we're going to be talking about is cooperative play. So this is when children play together with a shared goal in mind, and they're beginning to organize roles and they work as a team. So this is kind of when children are playing grocery store or house or something of that kind of situation where one child has a specific role. They're the cashier. The other child is the shopper. There's another one who is restocking or doing something like that, or helping the person shop. There's clear roles and they're working together to keep the play going. And this teaches them problem solving, teamwork, communication skills. It's a great sort of way of play, and it's great when teachers kind of can hop in or help direct if they do begin to kind of go back to the associative play, and they're having a hard time keeping it organized or they're beginning to be frustrated. The fourth one we're going to be talking about is dramatic play, which is also kind of make-believe or imaginative, something like that. But this happens when children are acting out real-life situations or imaginary roles. So this could be a parent or a teacher, a child being a doctor, and they're giving their doll a shot, or they're pretending to be a parent cooking dinner in a kitchen, something like that. And this is great because it helps children learn emotions, it practices language, and they're doing something that they see every day. They're copying what's going on in their real lives, right? They're copying their parent or their doctor or whatever. The fifth one is sensory play, and this is play involving using the senses, so touch, sight, smell, or even sometimes sound, something like that. And so this could be great if a child is playing with sand, water, Play-Doh, finger painting, listening to music, dancing, something like that, and they notice how it feels, how it's moving, changing. They're manipulating it to what they want it to do. And this is great because it helps them with their motor skills. And it also is cool because they can be learning science or math, when they do oobleck, which is the cornstarch in the water. Or they're pouring, they're measuring, they're comparing different textures. It's great for motor skills and learning their senses. And then the last one we're going to be talking about is that rough and tumble play, which is wrestling, chasing, but it's done in a really playful way, and it's not in anger. And this is I feel most siblings do this, especially the boys. I grew up with 2 brothers, so it's very much playing around, laughing, smiling. And this helps them release energy, learns physical boundaries, which is really important, and practice social skills in general. Understanding these types of play is really important because play is how young children really do learn. By watching how children play, teachers and caregivers can understand their social, emotional, physical, and intellectual development. And while at play, children are learning about themselves, about others, and the world around them.